Our commencement speaker today is an alum of the Art Institute of Charleston. Elliot Carlyle is a New York City-based branding and creative consultant, empowerment speaker, executive and life coach, and philanthropist. Elliot specializes in marketplace technologies, including executive, public relations, creative direction, and/or media services in fashion, entertainment, and lifestyle industries. He has built a respected brand and reputation inside and outside the fashion industry because of his expertise in fashion branding. Without further ado, I'll introduce his son, and welcome to the stage, Elliot Carlyle.
Good morning. How's everyone doing? It feels good in here. Y'all excited? I'm very excited. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to Erica for inviting me to do this. This is a very bittersweet occasion, but nonetheless, very, very exciting. And to all the faculty and staff and all of the parents. Let's give a hand to all of the parents. Let me tell you something. I'm so grateful to have had the parents that I have. I have two of the best in the world, and I'm telling you, being the parent of a creative child is a special gift because we are a different kind of people. We are a different kind of generation, and it takes work to be a creative child's parent. So congratulations to all of you for being here today. And then to all of the students, congratulate yourselves. Give yourself a round of applause because you survived. You survived. I'm sure there were a lot of people that you started out with that are not sitting here today, but you are here, and I just want to say a few words. I had something in my head that I wanted to do, but when I got here, my assignment shifted a little bit after talking with a few people that you didn't know, but you were giving me some things, and I want to celebrate the fact that for all of the graduates, this is your commencement, which means this is your beginning. It means that you have qualified for graduation, saying that you have completed what was necessary for you to go to what is called your next. And so now you're here to enter into that transition. And for the faculty, since as we all know, the school is unfortunately closing. However, I want to present to you that this is an invitation, and it's an invitation to make a shift. And shifts are made when you can make up your mind to accept a challenge. And so I want to just encourage you all today as you accept your challenge, because this is not the end. This is, I promise you, one of the most exciting beginnings of your life. I don't care what age you are, this is one of the most exciting beginnings of your life. I want to talk a little bit about my time at the Art Institute and how I came to the Art Institute in 2012 at the age of 26, 27. I actually am a college dropout. My background was in music, and I did musical theater and vocal performance, and traveled around the country singing. I performed at Carnegie Hall and at the Paris Opera House, and we sang at the White House and the Capitol Building and a lot of other things. And I was very successful in music, and then I went to school on a full music scholarship. In my second year in college, I decided to drop out because music was no longer my passion. And I did a project that opened up this world of fashion to me, and one of my professors at the time said, I think you should pursue a career in fashion. I think you have something special. And so I booked a ticket. This was back in the MySpace days. I don't know how many of you remember MySpace. So because of the research I had to do for my project, I made all these connections on MySpace. And so I saw everybody talking about Fashion Week, and I was like, well, I work, I have money, I can book a ticket and go to Fashion Week. And so I did. I thought it was like a Broadway show. You know, you go, you buy a ticket, and you go in and see who you want to see. Had no clue that it didn't work like that. And so, of course, I did not just get into Fashion Week. And for 3 days, I walked outside of the tents in Bryant Park trying to figure out what I could do, and I was only going to be there for a week. And after the 4th day, I thought, well, you better talk to somebody. And so I did, and I'm giving you this in the A version, but I talked to somebody. They told me how to volunteer. I came back the next season. I volunteered and got hired my first day working as a production captain. And so for the next 8 years, I did production in New York for Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. And I went back home and started my own boutique PR and marketing firm, and was very, very successful. But I still didn't have that piece of paper, you know, that piece of paper that you all are going to get today, that you'll look at today and it'll be so awesome and you'll never look at it again after this day. But you'll know that you have it and it'll be in your heart. But I decided, you know, I wanted to get that piece of paper, but I wanted to do it in something that I was passionate about. So I said, well, I'll go to school for fashion. And I, you know, looked at a bunch of different schools, and the Art Institute kind of just landed in my lap. And I came here, and I want to tell you guys that the Art Institute of Charleston is one of the most integral parts of my history and my story, and I can't go anywhere and tell my story without including the Art Institute, not just because of the education, but literally the life experience that I had while being there, and the relationships that I forged. And you know, she read a little bit about my bio, but I'm telling you, so much of that happened because of my time at the Art Institute. The professors were great, the students were great. Some I hated, some I loved, some were still friends, some I don't care if I ever see again. Just being honest, I'm not by myself. You all have those stories as well. But I want you all to know that it matters. What the time that you spent here, it matters. None of it, not a piece of it, not one project, not one assignment, not one test. I promise you, as ridiculous as some of the things that you did probably felt, I promise as you go through life, you're going to run into those things again, and you're going to be glad that you completed them, because you'll need to pull from them. I want to encourage you that as a creative, you have an edge ahead of everybody else. Already, just starting out the gate as a creative, you have an edge on everybody else. And I don't want you to go through life wanting to be or feeling like you need to be understood. I'm going to tell you now, you're going to be misunderstood. It's just part of the creative process. It is not your job to wake people up who are sleeping on you. Just remember that. It is not your job to wake anybody else who's up, who's sleeping on you. It is your job to not go to sleep on yourself. And if you don't sleep on yourself, yeah, you can clap right there. We in church. So it's okay. Oh, they left. Give me a little A flat. But seriously, it is not your job. You don't need to go through life because you don't need anyone else's approval. The fact that you graduated, just this day alone, you will be able to go through the rest of your life and remind yourself, I graduated. You completed this. Nobody else did your assignments, we hope. Nobody else attended class for you. Nobody else created for you. This came out. This is a result of your work and your investment in yourself, which means that you have what it takes to succeed in what is your destiny. And so I want you to be able to pull from this moment whenever because you're going to have pitfalls, you're going to have setbacks. It's all part of life, right? But I want to encourage you that a setback is nothing other than a setup to cause an upset. Okay? I just said something. A setback is nothing other than a setup to cause an upset. So when you experience those times in life, just cause an upset. I've experienced them all the time. You know, people don't get what it is that you're trying to do. People don't get your vision. That's why we had in school, remember those critiques? That we the only thing, what was troublesome about critiques is, this is your baby, this is your vision, this is your product, right? And then you had somebody wanting to argue with you on it. But the power of a critique is just standing and defending your vision. You'll have to do it every day of your life. You'll go to the hair salon, you'll go to the barbershop, and you want your hair cut like this, and they do it like that, and then you have to make it, or you'll have to have it for the rest of your life, and it's okay. But remember why you started. Remember and stay authentic to who you are and what is true to you and what your vision is, because your gift is there for a reason, and it's called a gift because the world needs it. There's somebody who needs what's on the inside of you in order that they can do what it is that they're supposed to do. That's why, and that's how we build communities, right? And so you'll leave here and you'll go out into the world and you'll start working and you'll start traveling. And I want you to remember the power of relationships. Relationships are the most powerful currency that we have on this planet. It is not money, I promise you. It is not money. It is relationships. Relationships will take you further than any dollar amount will. And relationships will also bring you more dollars than you could ever make just by working, all right? But I want you to remember that, because people will tell you network, network, network. You probably heard that while you're in school. Oh, you got to go to this event and network. You got to go to this event and network. But networking is so ingenuine. I mean, it's become the most practice of facade, the most intense practice of facade that I've ever run into. But if you just build authentically, we were sharing before, I was talking with the faculty, outside, there in the lobby. But in New York, everyone's thing is, what do you do? You introduce your name, oh, I'm Elliot. Oh, what do you do? People want to know what you do, because they want to know, like, what do I have that I can bring to you? So I want you to lead with, starting today, lead with, what can I do for you versus what's in it for me? Let that sit. What can I do for you versus what's in it for me? Don't leave here with the mentality of the get rich, die trying. Don't leave here, with the grinding mentality and the hustling mentality. I promise you, because people who have that mentality, that's what they do. They hustle people. And I'm telling you, because I live in New York and I meet hustlers every day, every day. You don't want to be a hustler. You just want to be someone who is an authentic builder. My brand statement is building people for global influence. Everything that I do is about people. And I call my audience architects, people who are actively building dreams, visions, goals, purpose, and destiny, which are all of you in here today. And I want to encourage you. I want you to be excited about what you're going to do. And you don't have to have it all figured out. Many of the faculty I asked, I said, since the school is closing, what are you going to do? A lot of them said, I don't know. And I said, that's okay. That is really okay. You don't have to know. Take a break. Take a breather. You've done a great job. When I graduated, I took about 3 months off just doing nothing. I just chilled at the house. I traveled. I just took a break because I wasn't really quite sure of exactly what my next step was going to be, but I knew I needed a break because I deserved one. So you don't have to have it all figured out, but just know how to respond in the moment. Remember that as you go through life, life is about moments. Nobody can plan their whole life. Life is the most inconsistent, spontaneous journey that you can ever experience. And so you can't plan it, but what you can do is when you find yourself in places and spaces, as we were reminded in Marjorie Whitworth's poem, as you find yourself in places and spaces, maximize every place and space that you're in life. Maximize it to the best of your ability. Give yourself all to it. Be all present in the moment. And guess what? I promise it will produce for you. And a year from now, you'll be able to go back. 2 years from now, 3 years, 4 years, you'll be able to go back and chart your course, is what I call, and you'll be able to pinpoint those moments. Even now, you can go back and look at the day you started school, when you first arrived here, those of you who weren't from here, your first class, and chart all of those assignments. Go back through your portfolio. Sometimes I just go back and flip through mine and remind myself, wow, I did that. Wow, I did this. I was a part of this. I was a part of that. And it's very encouraging, especially if you feel like you're in moments where you're not doing anything. Encourage yourself with what you've done, because if you've done it once, you can do it again. And if you built it once, you can always build again. And so I just want to leave you with this final thought. I was very inspired last year, I believe it was last year, when they opened the Watching Oprah exhibit at the National African American History and Culture Museum at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. And they had the tour there, and Oprah was going through it, and she was looking at all of the things she'd done over the years. She was charting her course, as I just shared with all of you. And she said something that struck me so powerfully. They said, how do you feel about it? What is your experience as you're going through this, looking at your life? And she said, I always say this, but I was born at the right time. For me to be Oprah Winfrey and for me to accomplish what I've accomplished in life, I was born at the right time. And that was so powerful. And I'm sitting there looking at her life, and I'm like, wow, she really was. And then it hit me. But so was I. Okay. Elliot Carlyle, you were born at the right time. I never understood the power of that until I moved to New York, and I'm working in the position that I'm working in now, and with the arena of people that I'm working in now. I never understood that me being, my whole entire life makes sense to this moment. This is one of the most powerful years I've ever had in my life, when I realized that everything that I've ever done, the good, the bad, and the ugly, even down to when I was in school, grade school, on my report card, every report card I got says excessive talking. All of my teachers had issues. I mean, apparently, I just talk. I remember the first time I was in 6th grade, and I can go back in my mind to the first time I was called outspoken. I didn't even know what the word meant, but it was actually my pastor at the time had a meeting with my parents to tell them, because I had a disagreement with him in Sunday school. I did. I said, I don't remember what it was we were talking about, but I remember I said, well, that's not what I get when I read it. And I said, I think it means this. And he called a meeting with my parents after church and said, I think you need to talk to your son. He's rather outspoken. And I'll never forget, because people will forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And I'll never forget how I felt in that moment, because my feelings were really hurt, and I didn't even know what outspoken meant, but I knew it was something negative. And my father said, I love my parents, my father said, no, sir, he's not outspoken. He's just a man that's expressing his opinion. My son is going to grow up to be a man one day, and a man has to be able to express himself and make decisions. And I'm so glad my dad defended me in that, because I've never had a problem since saying what I have to say. But the power in that is now I get paid to talk. So even though all of those teachers, they said what they had to say, and they gave me those negative comments on my report card, I'm serious. I go back and I look at those report cards, I'm like, excessive talking on everyone, but now I get paid to talk. And so, even though the good, the bad, and the ugly, it all works together for who you are. And you'll go through this life, and I promise the older you get, you will understand that you are really on a journey of unbecoming to become. So go from this place, and I want to salute you on becoming the most powerful individual that you will ever be. And remember, and never ever forget that we each have a responsibility to leave people better than we found them. Use all of your gifts, use your talents, use your abilities, use your conversation, use your smile, use your presence to leave people better than you found them. Congratulations to you all.